looking round for some means to commit suicide because the world will no longer be habitable. Now that's the state of affairs, and that's the world that we live in today. And if you've got no better mentality and you've got no better ability to use your brains and start to think about these things, and you only come to Hyde Park to hear some bloody idiot who obviously can't even speak grammatical English and knows nothing about what he's talking about, cracking daft, silly schoolboy jokes, well, OK, you are not for us.
Born out of the riots that took place in Hyde Park in 1853, Speaker's Corner has been the hub of protest and free speech in London, and has hosted a number of famous speakers from Karl Marx to George Orwell. The coherence of speakers varies greatly, from Christianity to capitalism, anti-feminism to aliens. Anyone within reason is able to air their opinions and lock their audiences into debate.
I'm just a tourist and walked to the Speaker's Corner.
I've never been in this bit of Hyde Park, so I just came to see what's going on.
It's something to do, I think, to begin with, but it's just nice to hear different opinions and different expressions from various people. The two times I've been here, I've not really agreed with what people are saying, but it's still, I don't know, something makes me compelled to listen to other opinions, I think.
Who has excuses? Who is waiting for benefits and state handouts? Who are you speaking to?
Myself and a lot of men I know, and women, we get not as many women obviously, but we get very, very frustrated about things, especially stuff we read in the newspapers, and we come here and it's a sort of a therapy. We get off our chests what we want to talk about, and in some ways we're wasting our time, in some ways we're not, because men's rights is never discussed. Most feminists look down on women who want to be mums. Who want to stay at home. They say that women should be in the workplace. The fact is that children need one parent.
See, the women
of the man or woman to be
engage with him because
they say women should have the opportunity to work if they want.
They do, and I think they should too. Sometimes people just come because they want to disrupt. Sometimes they're drunk.
The problem with all these guys is that
the highlight of the week is coming here and mouthing off.
Shouting,
Why don't you go back to the dustbin in Edgware Road from where you came?
You don't like logic. Like none of these guys like logic. People in ISIS don't like logic. Why? Because they've got a criminal record.
Sometimes people, they just want to shut us up because they don't like what we're talking about. But it is good because people can then actually see it happening and they can make up their own minds. I'm not a misogynist, I'm not a traditionalist.
But are you a misogynist?
A misogynist.
A misogynist, yeah.
Yes, Speaker's Corner has gone at a low ebb for a few years because of religion, the religious speakers here, but the reason that's happened because of the decisions our government has made overseas. That's my opinion. And I'm glad that there are Muslim and Christian people here talking, because this is democracy and as it is. And there is violence here a little bit sometimes, but I still think there should be speakers, people should speak about what they feel very strongly about. I think it's a very important place, and I think we need more religious speakers here and more political speakers.
I was over to a religious man over in the other corner. It was just rude. He insulted people. I don't think he has a real point. I just think he's just rude and had to say something.
I've been listening to the cowboy here. He seems a bit weird.
You want her to talk? Here she comes. You're gonna have to come closer because she doesn't have a loud voice.
I'm not a speaker, but I do
are a
love
speaker,
Jesus Christ.
You are speaking right now at Speaker's Corner in London
that makes you a student.
I do testify that Jesus Christ is alive, he's real.
Where is he?
Where is he?
He's within me, he's with his spirit.
It's one of my favourite places in London. I absolutely love it. I think it's so important that everybody has freedom of speech, and there's been a lot of debate in the media lately about whether or not that includes the right to offend. It certainly includes the right to disagree, and contrary opinions are so important. You should always reevaluate. Things are constantly changing. You need to reevaluate everything that you think and feel, and it's so important to kind of hear from real people, because the media twist things, and it's so important to hear from real people about their views.
Yeah.
You're saying these because they're unusual things.
You can't tell me I don't listen to you, and then when you've had enough of this conversation, you want to turn around and talk to me.
Yeah.
Really are past experiences been sad.
Men.
I think we struggle a little bit with the talks about religion, because I think we're pretty staunch atheists, aren't we?
We need in this world guidance, something from God to help us.
They were at each other's throats. You know, the Muslims, well, that's an exaggeration, they weren't at each other's throats, but they were disagreeing all the time about various things.
I went to mosque because God set me free. Christ has set me free. Christ has set me free. He set me free.
And yeah, we enjoy listening to the anti-feminist guys, because I think maybe we could chip in with a few things as well. And
They got a little bit more debate as well, didn't
Yeah.
they, about, it's easier when they can respond and answer questions, and I don't think any of them are particularly brilliant at that, but I think the Muslim guy over there was basically just telling all women to shut up, so if anyone asked a question, he was very reading from scriptures and just saying women should be silent, and was not taking kind of anybody's point of view, and I think that creates a bit of difficulty, because it's hard to understand somebody else's position if they won't try and understand yours, and maybe
some of them can be quite dogmatic, which I think is a bit of a problem. I think it's better to debate rather than be shouted at. I think.
Read it for me, please. Allah.
And I think these guys the anti-feminist blokes were quite good at.
they were better than most, weren't they, at debating and answering questions, but still not brilliant.
You're what I'd call a fluffy feminist. You believe a lot of the dogma, and you're actually not a bad person.
Don't patronise me.
No, that's what I'm telling you. What I call. We meet young women who are quite nice people. They believe in feminism. They've seen everything about feminism. When they see something against it, that's actually challenging it, they come out and they see us.
My issue is that you don't know what feminism is.
I do know what feminism is.
Because it's equality.
I was brought up by feminists.
So anything anti-feminist is anti-equality.
In the 90s, I had my career destroyed by a load of women in the office who were feminists, and I was one of the quietest people you could have had. They undermined it. They undermined my whole job. They abused me day and night. With a day when I worked there with verbal abuse, screaming. Yes, they were, because they just came out of feminist school at bloody
It doesn't make them a
Kingston.
feminist. I could
They
go
were
to
still
Christian school
feminists.
and come out, and I'm still not a Christian.
When I saw like an old lady over in that corner, she was like talking of like just this racist, horrible racist spiel, like basically talking about setting up extermination camps, and still like lots of people are just shouting at her, but there's never any point where no one was throwing things at her or anything.
The only people who have the God-given birthright to be here is the English race, and everybody else are invaders given permission by a British government who itself has not got England at the top of the agenda. This is the truth that I'm showing you, and you can do what you choose with it, but you're going to be accountable for where you chose to go, how you lived the life that was given to you, even though every time you look in the mirror you're faced with where you know
I said I have no mirror at home.
The religious ones, it just gets a bit dull if they're just like they're literally reading out of the Bible or whatever. So it's the kind of the ability to have a dialogue and just start an argument or a debate. I always find it quite interesting that a lot of them, they just start with literally nobody. No one's listening to them, and they have to just keep talking until they reach a kind of critical mass, because the way that you don't go up, it's rare that you'll go up and just stand next to someone who's just standing on a crate, they've got to build up a bit of a crowd, but and I like the way that it kind of pairs off. You get little groups who start an argument with the main speaker, and then they'll move off and start arguing amongst themselves. Well, there was a guy that I remember speaking to. He used to come every weekend, and he has a sign saying it's going to get worse. I don't know if you've ever seen him, but maybe he just comes in summer. But I was talking to him. He's been coming here since like the 30s or 40s or something, and he was saying it used to be a lot more. Much bigger thing, like you'd get a lot more political people here, like socialists, like conservatives, stuff like that, but now he's saying it's mostly gone into religious. These men's rights activists are the first kind of new political group that I've seen, kind of, they're more of like a social group, whatever, but I think there's always going to be I don't know, people get angrier about religion now than they do about politics, so I think maybe it's just going to keep on going like that.